Hey there. In this video, I'd like to walk through how we can create an OAuth app in the Google Development Console that allows you and your end users to log into the Google Analytics API. The first thing that we want to do, if this has not been done before, is we want to create a new project. So let's create a new project, and I will just call it StackOne Integrations. And now I'm in my StackOne Integrations project. The next thing that we want to do is enable the Google Analytics data and admin API. So first let's search up Google Analytics API and let's first enable the data API, and let's also enable the admin API. And now this next screen that it takes us to, we are going to go to the OAuth consent screen. And now we can click Get Started if this has not been done before. And you can name the app. Again, I'm just going to name it StackOne Integration, and I will use my email. You can choose the audience. If you're using this for internal use cases like I am, you could choose internal. However, if you want external end users outside of your company to log into this, you can choose external. I will add my contact information again. And then we can finish. Great. And the next thing that we can do is enable the scopes. And we can do this in data access. We can add or remove scopes. And I'm just going to search for analytics. And the main thing that we need here is this Google Analytics admin API, and it's the analytics.edit scope. So once we add that, we are good to go. Next, we need to create our credentials, and we can do this by going over here to APIs and Services, choose Enabled, or choose Credentials, and now we can click Create Credentials, and we can choose OAuth Client ID. And this is a web application. You can name it, again, anything. I will name it StackOne Integration. And now we need to add a redirect URI. This redirect URI is going to be api.stackone.com/connect/OAuth2/Google Analytics/callback. Now let's click Create. And now this gives us a client ID and client secret. We use this client ID and client secret to create the integration in StackOne. So now let's hop over to StackOne. Here I'm in the auth configs page for StackOne, and I'm in the process of creating an auth config for Google Analytics. The things that we need to fill out here are client ID and client secret. Let's drop in the client ID. Now let's drop in the secret. Additionally, when you're creating the auth config, you can enable or disable any of the actions that are available for that connector. In some cases, you may want to create a read-only connector, and you can control that at the auth config level. Or you can just scope down the actions that you have available. For certain connectors, there are hundreds of actions available, and if you are connecting this as an MCP server to an agent, you may want to limit the amount of actions that you're sending over. In this case, will just keep 32. However, in many cases, it is recommended to go through and enable only the actions that you see being used. And now that that has been created, we can go into the accounts page and actually enable an account. Let's click Link Account, click Authenticate Now, and search for Google Analytics. And let's click Next and connect. And cool, in just a few minutes, we created the OAuth app in Google, set the scopes that are needed for the StackOne integration, then we created the auth config in StackOne that allows all of your end users to connect to this app, and then we connected an app in StackOne. I hope this helped.